Okay, so number one is a mixture problem. So let's quickly draw our standard grid for mixture problems. Okay, so across the top we have the amount of whatever the liquid is, times the percent of, in this case it's acid, right? And then that equals the total amount of acid. So we have the original, and then we want to add water to it, right? Add water. And then we have the mix, right? So basically we have an original 1,000 grams of a solution, so 1,000 grams. And that solution is 40% acid, so 40 is written as 0.40, right? And then we want to add water to it, so we don't know how much water, so we'll call that W. And the total acidity is going to be reduced to 0.25, right? So the mixture is going to be reduced to 0.25. So we don't know how much mixture we have, right? Now, let's fill out the rest of this chart. So the water has 0% acid in it, right? We have to make that assumption that there's no acid in water. So now across the top we have our formula, amount times percent equals total. So this one would be 0.4 times 1,000, right? This one would be W times 0, that's 0, right? But 0 times W. And the bottom one would be 0.25 times M, right? Because it's the amount times the percent equals total. Now our two equations for mixture problems, the first one comes from here, and the second one comes from here. So the first one, we have the original amount, 1,000, plus some amount of water, equals the total mixture, right? And on the right, in the original 1,000, there was 0.4 times 1,000, 0.4 times 1,000, times 1,000, amount of acid, plus 0, right, equals 0.25 m, which is the total amount of acid in the result. And here is our system of equations. So we have 1,000 plus W equals m. And the next one, we have 0.4 times 1,000, that's 400. Oops, 400. Right, plus 0, this is the right column, I'm going down here, right, plus 0 equals 25.25 m. There's our two equations, right? So the bottom equation we can solve for m, right? I have 0.25. So this bottom equation, so we could do two things. We could substitute, we could solve it for m and substitute in. We could make the bottom one have an m, so we could use elimination. There's a lot of varieties, right? So I'm going to rearrange the bottom equation. So the top one stays 1,000 plus W equals m. And the bottom one, I'm going to divide both sides by 0.25, right? So I get 1,600 equals m. Right? On this one, we multiplied both sides by 4, or we divided by 0.25, right? Both sides. Okay, so now I'm going to use substitution, right? And I'm going to take the 1,600, and I'm going to substitute that in for m. So we would get 1,000 plus W equals 1,600. So that means W equals 600. So the question says how much water needs to get added. So we would say 600 grams of water must get added, right? 600 grams of water.